Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Today we are painting one of these two miniatures. Guess which one? The white one. Now I have here, I got the Sea Giant and I got the Crocosaurus. These are from the Bones 5 Kickstarter. They are from the Dark Depths expansion. I'll do a more in-depth look at all the miniatures probably on Monday, because what I'll do on the Monday show is we'll paint this larger miniature here, which is the Sea Giant. So this is an absolutely gorgeous miniature. It's absolutely huge. It's a humongous sized mini, and I've lost Sir Forescale to give you a size comparison. As always, he's run off on one of his quests. There he is. I found him. He's on top of a paint pot. So there we are. He's absolutely dwarfed by the size of this giant. So there we are. Let me quickly say hello to people in chat so far. We have Scorplers in chat. We have the Bold GMs in chat. We have Gav, the Star Wars Man's in chat. We have Ty's in chat. Rod's in chat. The Waffle Witch. Thank you, Waffle Witch, for joining the Lord of the Rings tier. Thank you for supporting. I shall be sending you a nice little welcome package this month. In fact, it'll probably be next week. Who else we got there? Painterly Git. Hello, Painterly Git. And David. Cold Air's in the house. And and of course Tal's in the house as well. Loads of love to you, Tal. Hope you're feeling a little bit better today. Okay, so let me give you a little 360. Let me give you a little 360 of this massive miniature. Now I haven't stuck it together, so it's fallen apart in my hands, but I did have to do the cold water effect on this big spear today. Let me get this out a little bit further so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. It was shaped like a banana, so to straighten this out, of course, I used the hot and cold water technique. Thank you for subscribing, Ty. That goes in his hand like so. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful miniature. I'm looking forward to painting this one. Now, what I've done, I've ordered some oval bases from Reaper Miniatures, so I am waiting for the oval bases to actually, so I can put a nice base on this one. You know, I normally use the round bases, but because of the Dungeon Dwellers theme is starting to be all on oval bases now, I was thinking maybe I should start doing my bases with oval. So anybody who's on a tier with me, if you prefer to have oval bases instead of the round bases, which I normally base all my miniatures on, let me know, and I'll try and see if we can work out the different types of bases, depending on your style of game, of course. Okay, let me give you another little turn around of this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. A little multi-part kit. This little goes on the arm there. Now, depending on how far we get today with the Crocosaurus, we might be able to make a start on this miniature as well. So let me get this big box out of the way. And I'll show you the Crocosaurus. Now, the Crocosaurus is absolutely gorgeous as well. As you can see, I've already given it a white undercoat. Now, it comes on a little stand as well. So the little stand comes off there. I'll glue that on later. So what we're going to do is start on the base first. We'll get the base all painted up fast and easily, and then we'll do the little Crocosaurus. Again, simple paint. We'll do a nice light underbelly and a darker top with this miniature. But first we'll start with the base. So what I'll do is I shall get some paint on my palette and we can make a start. Now, paints I'm using today are Dragon Green by MSP. We have Buckskin Pale, which is perfect for sand, by MSP. We're using Maggot White, which will be for the underside of our little Crocosaurus. We have some Alien Flesh, which we'll be using for the grey parts on the base here. And we'll probably be using some soft tone ink wash. This will be for the base, to cover the base. And what we're going to do is add some like weed and stuff. So we've got some fiber optic strands here, and we'll make some weeds coming up so it looks like it's swimming through the weeds in the water. Hopefully we'll get to that stage. So let's go. Hello, Mokai. Hello, James McCoy. James, all your miniatures are now finished, so they shall be posted in, well, the next couple of days. So you'll have a lovely little set of Rohan riders coming your way. Now, I hope everybody has been buying the little nightingales from Reaper Miniatures. As you know, most of you know, on Twitter, I did a little shout out for Reaper Miniatures where they are supporting Ukraine. Jason Waby made a nightingale in support for the Ukraine, and of course $7.50 of all proceeds will go to that cause. So what I've done is I've ordered or pre-ordered a couple of the nightingales, and what I'm going to do once they're here, it's supposed to be more towards the end of the month. What I'll be doing is I'll do a special little Twitch show where all the cheers from the Twitch show will go directly to that cause. What I've done is I've ordered a couple of the nightingales. So what I'll do is on that actual show I will maybe do maybe do a little bidding war. Maybe do a little bidding war for the nightingale I paint on my show, and of course that will all go towards the Ukraine cause as well. So hopefully lots of you will join in with that. It'll be a nice show, and it's a nice way to be able to help, because it's not nice what's going on at the minute. It's a bad world. So if I can do anything to help, then I will try my best. Thank you, Rod. Like I said, I ordered a couple of the nightingales. Of course, being a little collector myself, I've got one for myself to paint up, but one I shall, of course, give away, and of course, all proceeds will go to what Reaper Miniatures are doing. I think it's called UNICEF. So I'm just adding this lovely, absolutely beautiful buckskin pail to all the base. And we just fly around the base. And this will be this gives a nice sandy effect, especially when you add the soft ink wash. Like I say, it's a nice easy paint. It means I can have a little chat with you guys and try and read anything in chat. Oh, the base boss are absolutely fantastic bases, Dave. I've just ordered, like I say, oval bases. I've been using round bases for years and years now, but since Reaper have started the Dungeon Dwellers, their bases are now oval, and I really do like the Dungeon Dwellers. They're my favourite line from Reaper at the moment. So in order to keep my collection in the same baseline as the new miniatures are coming out, what I'm going to do is start painting my dragons and everything for my own personal collection. I'll be using the oval bases. But like I say, if any of my Goblin patrons want oval bases on their miniatures, just give me a little shout out, send me a private message, and I'll put your names down. Good. A bid. I think a bid in. I think a bid in war would be would be the best way to raise money for the cause. Like I say, I know money is tough at the moment for all of us. It is definitely a difficult world at the moment. So I'm praying everything is going to be okay. But it's very scary as well, and I know many of you are scared. But we're all goblins, we're all friends. So as long as we got each other, I'm sure we're going to be okay. Just getting through all the little gritty bits. Now, I always start with the parts that, of course, that are the lowest areas, and of course, I'm starting with the light colour because then we can go over with the grey, and it doesn't matter that I've gone over any of the other parts. Now, what I'm hoping is I can do little parts on here, then move on to the main Crocosaurus, and then come back and go back to the base, and we can work our way through the Crocosaurus like that today. Like I said, I don't know how far we'll get. It shouldn't really take long to paint. It's quite a simple little miniature. Yes, it's perfect for sand. This is, like I say, the buckskin pale, and of course, if I use this soft tone from an army painter, that gives a really nice effect over the sand afterwards. I was thinking of going and doing a swampy effect, but as this is more of a deep sea set, I decided to carry on doing it as it is. But I will be adding lots of different reeds for the Crocosaurus to swim through, so I think that'll make it look a little bit more alive. Now, it's very difficult to do an underwater scene and make it look fishy, as I say. What I am going to be doing in the future is I am going to be showing you how to make resin bases. I got a very simple way of of making resin still water bases. So you can actually make your little miniatures with a little couple of centimeters of water in them. So what I'll be doing, that'll be in the future. I'll show you those. It's a very simple way to make your bases. Fantastic if you want a sea or water type effect base to your minis. Okay, I'll leave that dry a little bit over there. Now I've got more paint on my fingers than I have the actual miniature. Oh, we got a raid from Reaper Miniatures. Welcome, Reaper Miniatures. Thank you so much for the raid, Reaper. Now, at the moment, I am painting the Crocosaurus from the Deep Depths expansion. We've just put a little bit of buckskin pale on the bottom of the base there. And now we're going to do the actual Crocosaurus. We're going to have a dark green top with a light maggot white bottom to this enormous creature. Now I'm just getting some paint on the palette. Thank you for following. Now, I've just been talking about the Nightingale, and I'm sure the Reaper Miniatures have already told all the Reaper Raid about ordering the Nightingale from Reaper. I will be doing a special stream once I get my Nightingale for the Ukraine cause, and all the proceeds from my Twitch stream, all the cheers, bits, anything I make from my stream, that will also go towards the Ukraine cause, which is my way of helping as well. So yes, everybody buy your Nightingales from Reaper. Now, like I say, today is a very fast paint, quite a simple paint today. It's really a little bit of kind of wet blending and all sorts of goodness going on. Using a very large brush. What we're going to do is just plough into the paint here. Let's see if we can get some focus. Starting off with the dark green, I'm going to put a little tissue here in case I need to do any mixing. And what we're going to do is just work our way around all the top area of this miniature. I'm not worried about making a mess because it's all going to be blended in a couple of minutes. Just going to work our way all the way down to the tail phone here. Thank you for subscribing. You'll have to excuse me if I miss anybody that's followed. I go into the zone when I'm painting and I look up and I miss what I see. Thank you for subscribing. Is it Bull GM's gifting? Thank you Bull GM so much. So we're just getting some paint onto this miniature. Now if you want to get one of my dragons, I have the ice dragon above me from Reaper Miniatures. At every 100 followers I give away a free miniature, just because it's awesome to do and I like giving away my miniatures. So follow the channel. Now my painting of course is nothing like the Reaper Pro painters like you've just been watching. My painting is a tabletop standard to paint all your miniatures to play with for your tabletop games. So what I try to do is show you quick and easy ways to get your miniatures painted up to an acceptable gaming standard for your games, because I do find if I painted every single miniature to a showcase standard, I would never get all my Bones collections done. So I do try to do a speed paint on each show to show how I can get a little miniature done and hopefully give some of you some inspiration on how to paint your miniatures. Now what I'm going to do is I'll probably go to the lateral line. We'll work down to about 50% of this body here. What we'll do is I shall start moving down with the paint here and we'll go about 50% to about there. And it's quite simple, we can just follow the line across and we'll paint here. Just move along straight across. And take that green paint right down to his little claws at the bottom here. Bit of a difficult one to hold today. I'm going to have to kind of miss the tail or the head because I'm going to need something to actually hold the miniature with. But we'll try our best. So again, we're just moving that green up here. In fact, we'll go straight the way along, right to his nose. There we are. We can use that to straight across. Now while that's still wet, what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start adding a little bit of the green onto my tissue. What we'll do is one side at a time. I'm adding some of the maggot white into that green there. And just make sure I don't overload my brush. There we go, that's better. And what we'll do is start working our way down. There we go, I can hold the fins here so you can actually see what I'm doing. and we can start pulling that green down. Going underneath the arm there. What you're after is a nice light colour and on the underbelly of this Crocosaurus. So we just start pulling the paint from the top into the maggot white to give us a little blend. Very simple and easy. And we just do that all the way along. Now I try to do it while the paint is still wet. So you do have to be quite fast doing this technique, especially on the larger miniatures. So I would recommend doing it in stages. So what we're trying to do is just get a blend going from that dark green, and we're just pulling it down and around. And of course we're using that maggot white, and we're just making it lighter now, and we can just keep on pulling that paint around to the belly of the Crocosaurus. A little bit more green. Just go under these fins here. There we are. A little bit more green, mixing it together. A bit more of the maggot white. And we'll start coming down here, a little bit more maggot white, and we start pulling that along here, just for the jaw. So you've got a nice little tone going, so you've got nice and dark at the top, and then it goes down to the white. Now I want to do the same with these parts here. But we shall have to wait a little bit longer until it's dry, but we shall do the top bits here. Again, I'm going back straight into the green, and what I want to do is just add a little bit of paint to each one of these little bones. What I'm going to do is actually wet blend all the bones and pull up the maggot white, so each one of these has like a little glowy tip. Just nothing major, just a little bit. Some are larger than others, so we shall just do a quick blend here and here and work our way up. And all I'm doing is pulling the dark green up to the top of the spine. And I'll just go into that maggot white, and that just finish that top bit off there, a little bit there, just makes it a little bit lighter. There we are. And finish it off just with maggot white on the tips. Like so. So you're starting to get some nice green shades going, nice and fast. Okay, let's work on the other side now. We'll do exactly the same with the spine. We just add some dark green. I've got a hair on my brush, let me just get rid of that. There you go. And we just add the maggot white to slowly pull up the spine. And just to finish off, pure maggot white just on the tips. Now I'm waiting for the paint to dry a little bit so I can actually finish this side to give you an idea what's going on. But as you can see, it's looking very, very nice so far, very simple. And the same will do with the tail, but I'm going to be holding this miniature by the tail, so I'll have to paint that on a different time. So what we'll do is, while this is drying a little bit, I shall go back to the base. Well, actually, no. What I'll do, I'll finish off this side. Otherwise, it's going to be uneven. So let's go back to what we're doing and see if I can just quickly finish this side off. So again, we're using the green going across halfway down. Straight across. Hello, K-Word Publishing. Looking forward to getting your book. When your book arrives, I will show it off to everybody on the Twitch show. If anybody in chat is into their Dungeons and Dragons, K-Word Publishing, of course, is a multi-selling author of Dungeons and Dragons books. He's had, I think it's, how many successful Kickstarters has he had now? I think it's about 6 or 7. I know I've got every single book that Andrew K-Word has released. And we use them in all our games. Absolutely amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing stuff. Yeah, 6 Kickstarters. Yeah, and I think I've backed every Kickstarter Andrew K-Word has done so far. One of his biggest fans, but don't tell him that. Okay, just going to start pulling down on the green and give that same undercoat. We want it to blend in the same as we did the other side. Like I say, I'm just using a big, huge brush for this job. Very, very simple. And we're just working our way to the middle with our green. We're just making it lighter using this maggot white. And we're pulling the actual top green down into the green we are using. And just like a real fish in the sea or in the water, you always have a dark top. You always have a very dark top to the fish, and the reason that is for predatory purposes. I know most of you probably know, but I'll explain anyway. When a fish or a predator is looking into the water, they won't see the top of the fish because it's got a dark top to it. And the same, if you're a little fishy swimming underneath the little fishies, and the little fishy looks up, all they'll see is the light belly reflecting against the light sky above. And that's why fishes have a light underbelly and they have a dark top. That's the complete reason why that is. Very simple, but a very effective way of camouflaging from other fishes. So they can eat you. So they can eat you. Valanda the Red, hello. Now, talking of fishing, the fly fishing season in Scotland starts in a couple of weeks. I've got all my fishing gear out. I've been getting it all cleaned and ready. So this year I'm hoping to go and get some nice beautiful brown, wild brown trout. Now I might even take my video camera, because I know Rod is a keen fisherman who's in chat. So I thought I'd take some films of where I go fishing, just for Rod, so he can see what it's like in Scotland. We expect pictures. Oh, you'll get pictures. I might even do a cooking show on how to cook your trout. Okay, this is looking great for just the actual tones. As you can see, it's a very fast speed paint. We've got the lovely dark on the top there, and it's going into a nice light. Oh, I've missed a bit. I've missed the other side of his face there. And it's going into a nice light green around the areas. On the bottom of the Crocosaurus, there we are. As long as we keep all the colours the same, and you just blend the colours in, everything just comes together. Many a times you'll be painting a miniature, and you can start off the miniature and you think, oh, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. So the key is just to keep going, and if you make mistakes, you can go over your mistakes. We all make mistakes, and it's a normal thing, but trial and error is the key in anything you do with miniature paint. Right, for this main bit right at the bottom, what we're going to do there is just the lightest possible. Just go into the maggot white, and we're just going to quickly go over that area. Now, this type of painting that I'm doing with the wet blending of the different colours, this is a way of painting where I don't need to add an ink wash to this miniature, because I've used this type of way of painting it. You don't really need to do any more to the actual highlighting of the skin or anything. What I probably will do with this miniature, once it's all finished, I might give it I'll either give it a satin varnish or a gloss varnish. I'll probably go with a satin varnish, even though you want the fish to look wet because it's underwater. I always find that a pure varnish, you'll have to excuse me touching my nose. I was playing with my cats before this show and I got cat hairs all up my nose. Again, I find if you use a gloss varnish, sometimes it can look over shiny. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but it can make the miniature definitely look over shiny, even though you want that wet look. Sometimes a matte varnish is the best way, even though it's an underwater scene. Yes, I've got cat's hairs up my nose today. It's got Let me drink some of my Ribena wine. Num 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 num. Okay, excuse me again. Let's go back to the base. We'll let that little fishy dry over there for a few minutes. Now, for the base here, very, very simple. What we're going to do is, it's still wet, so again, I'm just going to go over the grey areas. This is Alien Grey by MSP Paints. Very, very simple. We just boom, 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 boom. Now, this is the hardest part about. Oh, I went into the green. There we are. See, I made a mistake there. Look, I went into the green instead of the grey. But it's not an issue because we're going to have green all over it anyway. So we go back into our thing there. There we are. And we could just mix that in a little bit more. That's what a professional does. He just carries on. There we are. Okay, so just getting all the grey areas painted. Now, of course, it's not going to be grey. It's actually going to be hit with green because it is an underwater scene. So you're going to have algae and all sorts of gunge over there. So actually going into the green wasn't a problem for this miniature. All the sand will have green on as well. Now, I hope you're all getting excited about the Bones 6 Kickstarter. Like I said to you before, I will be doing some prototype miniatures from the Bones 6 Kickstarter on my show, so that will be absolutely amazing. And like I say, I want to thank Reaper Miniatures for sending me the prototype miniatures. It's very, very kind of you. I'm absolutely honoured to be able to do that. The underwater expansion miniatures. Let me be ultra truthful about the underwater miniatures. They are absolutely beautiful miniatures, no doubt about that. But I don't play any games that are underwater. So these miniatures that I'm painting, even though they're absolutely beautiful, I would go. My personal favourite again are the dungeon dwellers. I'm definitely a dungeon man myself, and of course you can use your dungeon miniatures for all types of scenarios. If you've got underwater miniatures, I mean, you got one use. They're underwater miniatures, so I do personally prefer to have the ordinary dungeon dweller type miniatures. But of course, being a collector, I have to have everything of what the Reaper miniatures are producing from the Bones Kickstarters. But I will be trying my best. I will be trying my best to keep my spending to a minimum on this next Kickstarter. It will be difficult, seeing that it's my business. But I need to try and save money, that's for sure. Also, when you buy all these Kickstarters, I hope I don't put anybody off buying the Kickstarter, because I'm definitely not trying to put anybody off buying Kickstarters. But what I was going to say was, I have got boxes and boxes of Kickstarters, not from Reaper, from different other companies from Kickstarters, and they're not even opened. It can be quite addictive doing Kickstarters, and before you know it, you got so many miniatures, you'll never get them all painted. So what I'm trying to do now is stick with my favourite miniatures, even though I'd love to be able to support all the different companies. There's only a few companies I will support now, because I know myself, even though I speed paint hundreds of miniatures, it's actually thousands of miniatures a year I paint. I know, even with the fact that all those miniatures, I would never ever paint them all in my lifetime. So I've had to step back and take a good look at what I'm doing, because the house is just becoming a collection of miniatures. So I do need to try and sort that out. Of course, Kaywood Publishing is in chat. His Kickstarters are books, and of course I always back Andrew Kaywood's Kickstarters, because my partner Sculptor, she always uses one of his monsters in one of her campaigns. She loves using Andrew Kaywood's books, because then people can't look up the stats. If they haven't got his book, they won't be able to look up the stats of the monsters. So metagaming, as they call it. And I don't know why people do that anyway. Why would somebody want to ruin a game by looking up the stats of a monster so they know if they've nearly killed it or not? Because half the fun of Dungeons and Dragons is facing off a monster and not knowing. Now, I'll give you an example. I was in a game with Tal, and there was this rat. And I thought I could take this rat on. I didn't know the stats of the rat. Anyway, the rat kicked my ass. But I didn't know, so there we are. But Tal found it highly amusing, because that's the type of guy he is. In fact, I think that's why I tried to talk to it first, didn't I? Hello, Ernie Hammer. Yes, it's. I think all your Dungeons and Dragons books. Of course, Dungeons and Dragons is just a guideline to your adventure. So it doesn't matter what you're going to do. I would change all. If I was a DM, I've never been a DM, but if I was a DM, I would want to change all the different stats of all the different monsters, so people can't metagame and see what the stats of the monsters are. I mean, there's nothing wrong in looking, but it's for your own personal pleasure. If it's like I don't know, it just ruins the suspense. Not if you know how many hit points a monster has when you go into battle, you can work out your defense, you can work out your potions, you can work out everything before you actually go into battle. And it's not cheating as such, but it would ruin not knowing when you're about to defeat that monster, puts it to the razor's edge. And that, to me, is how Dungeons and Dragons should be played. Now I'm reading chat and not painting. Look at you all talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I'll get the dice out in a minute. Let's have a game. Okay, now this is still wet, so I can't do much with that one. We can work on a tail on this one. Let me just drink some of my Ribena wine. And by the way, it's not wine. I don't actually drink. I have a beer. The last time I had a beer was Christmas time, I think. A special occasion. Okay, I need some more green on this tail. Now with the tail, what we'll do is the same thing. We'll just work our way around. Now the reason why I'm doing it in stages is I'm letting it dry and moving to the next stage. And again, we'll just do exactly the same. We'll just go to 50-50, going down here, and we'll just take that paint across. And we could highlight the tops of the tail there. Now, as always, I will finish the miniature and I will make a 360 video of the finished miniature. What I shall do before I finish the show today, because we are getting close to the end, I will show you the reads for any newcomers that have come to the show to watch today, or have followed, or subscribed, or anything. I shall quickly show you the reads. Most of my long-term goblins will know exactly what I do with my reads and different things, and we'll put the maggot white here. Is that Renegade Shank in the house? Hello, Renegade Shank, how you doing? Now, Renegade Shank is in my party in Lord of the Rings Online. Yes, I still play that game after 12 years playing Lord of the Rings Online. Renegade Shank and Scorpler, we run around together killing orcs and naughty things. It's still an absolutely fantastic online game. In my opinion, better than Warcraft. Okay, just quickly add this here. So there we are, we've got some lovely different colours going on today with this beastie, the Crocosaurus. That looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm very happy how that's coming on. There's still lots of touching up to do, of course, but as a quick speed paint on this show, just to give you an idea of the different colours you can get just by using the greens, I think it's an absolutely awesome little miniature. Now, before I finish the show today, I'll quickly show you how I'm going to make some of the reeds for the underwater effect. I got about 1,000 plus hours on Elder Scrolls Online. It was one of my favourites. I've got 2,500 hours on Conan Exiles. So yeah, I'm a bit of a big player when it comes to online gaming. It's something I do to pass the time. It's my way of relaxing. But what I do find is it's also fantastic when you're a painter. Because I paint all day, I have to have breaks from painting, or as I get just freaked out, eyesore, whatever. So I say eyesore. So what do? I go and play games. What happens is I just play the games and enjoy myself. And of course, Skyrim. I wouldn't like to say how many hours I got on Skyrim. Oh, anyway, this is artificial fibre. And what I do with the artificial fibres is I strip the fibres down. You can buy the artificial fibres from model shops. You can get it online on eBay. It's just fibre. And what I do, I just take these fibres here. It doesn't matter what length. And I just twist the fibres. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Just twist the fibres a little bit like so. Put that there for now. And I need to get my super glue. Where's my super glue gone? Let's see if I got an open one. Is that I've got an open top? Just check. A little pokey stick. There we go. Now, all we need to do with the fibres here is we give it a twist in the middle, and then all we do is we just add a little bit of super glue to the fibres just to bond the bottom. The super glue will actually soak into the fibres and give it a solid base. It can be a little bit tricky, especially when you're doing it on a live show. But once you've got the hang of it, you just add the super glue, let the super glue soak in, and you just let that go hard over there. I'll do another one. And what happens then, of course, I cut that in half. I cut the fibres in half and then stick them around the base, and of course then the Crocosaurus will be swimming around and it would look like he's going through all these like little weeds, which is awesome stuff. Who said that? Who said that? Where is it? And how Mikey rolls up a doobie. Ty knows me too well. Oh my goodness. Now, I use this effect on many of my miniatures. I don't know if many of you remember when I made the troll bridge, and I made all these little things. In fact, Renegade Shank, you've actually got the troll bridge where I made all these little things. Okay, so all you do then, just to finish these off, is you get a nice sharp knife, or even scissors works, and we just cut through the middle. Actually, I need scissors. This knife isn't good enough. Here we go. So I'm going to get this one. There we go. There's my scissors. There you go. Should be able to just snip through these. There you go. And what happens then is the super glue, and of course cutting it, is giving it a nice little effect there, and then we can glue it around our base and have them anywhere we want, just like so. And that'll be sticking up like so, and you've got yourself a perfect little reed bed. And of course this miniature here, that'll go inside like so with the clear, and then that will be on there like so, and you can have these all dotted around. I'll have it probably there so it's not in the way. We'll probably have about 4 or 5 going around the base. I'm not going to stick it on, I just want to give you an idea of how it works and how it will look. So you have these all around the base, and they'll be sticking up as the Crocosaurus is swimming around, and it'll be awesome stuff. So there we are. That's today's little show. Fast and easy. I want to thank all the people from Reaper Miniatures who raided me, who stayed. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for following, and just thank you for watching this show. I shall be back on Monday, and on Monday we should be making a start on this bad boy, which is the sea giant. Absolutely huge sea giant. So we shall be starting from scratch, and we'll just do that on the one show. So until Monday, loads and loads of love to every single one of you, and I shall see you on Discord, and I shall see you on Twitter and everywhere else that I'm on social media. But until then, you take care, everyone.